Hello friends, welcome to the course on Institutional Management and Administration. In this session today, friends, we are going to talk on one of the very important elements of institutional management process, that is directing, which is linked with manpower. Directing gives a direction to the individuals to work in the right perspective. In this presentation, I am to talk about the concept of directing, characteristics of directing, functions of directing, and elements of directing. Let's start with the concept of directing. Directing is a function of management performed by the top level management in order to achieve institutional goals. It is a process in which the institutional managers instruct, guide, and oversee the performance of the employee to achieve the predetermined goals. Directing is said to be the heart of the management processes. It initiates action, and from there the actual work starts. Management has to undertake various activities like guiding people, inspiring them, motivating them, leading them in order to achieve the desired results, and directing involves all of these activities. Let's understand the characteristics of directing. Basically, directing is required at all levels of an institution. Every institutional manager provides guidance and inspiration to his subordinates. That's the reason it is called a pervasive action. It's a continuous activity as it continues throughout the life of an institution. Because it is acting on the humans, that's the reason human factor is very important in directing. It is linked with the subordinates and therefore it involves human factor. Since human factor is complex and behavior is unpredictable, directing function becomes very important for any institution. The important function of directing being the heart of the management process and therefore being the pivot around which all the accomplishment of goals take place, it involves many important parameters and it gives benefits to the institution which are as follows. It initiates action in an institution. After this action, all the activity starts. It integrates the efforts of all human resources in an institution. It provides means of motivation for better performance. It provides stability to the institution through the judicious blend of pervasive leadership, effective communication, strict supervision, and efficient motivation. It provides appropriate guidance for coping with the required changes from time to time. It also helps in efficient utilization of resources. So, directing is the heart of the management process around which all the other functions are moving. Directing involves telling people what is to be done and explaining how to do it, issuing instructions and orders to subordinates, inspiring them to contribute towards the achievement of objectives, supervising their activities, and providing leadership and motivation. The main elements of directing are supervision, leadership, motivation, and communication. Let's understand each one of them separately. First, supervision. Supervision implies overseeing the work of the subordinates by their superiors. It is an act of watching and directing work and workers. It is a management activity which is carried out by the superiors to oversee the productivity and performance of the employees who report directly to them. It essentially is an educational process. Educate less qualified or less experienced by better qualified and better experienced ones is the main emphasis of supervision. Supervisors are the key people among managers at different levels. They are a link between the top and the middle management and the workers. It refers to the day-to-day relationship between a manager or a superior and his subordinate in an institution. Definitely, it does not aim primarily at fault finding but at the education and guidance. So, the main purpose of supervision is to educate, guide those people who are less qualified, less experienced by those people who are qualified and better experienced ones. Let's understand the difference between directing and the supervision. Directing is a wide perspective, whereas supervision is a narrow perspective. Directing involves motivation, communication, supervision, training and leadership, whereas on the other hand, supervision is a narrow perspective as it is one of the elements of directing. Direction is generally from the top level. On the other hand, supervision is restricted to the lower level management. Generally, direction is related to supervision, which is the intermediate link between the workers and the management. On the other hand, supervisors has to deal, guide and lead workers directly under his command. Direction being from the top level involves formulation of policies and taking important decisions. On the other hand, supervision at the lower level mainly involves implementation of the decisions taken by the top management. It can provide for financial and non-financial incentives based on the recommendations of the top bosses. On the other hand, under supervision, supervisor cannot provide incentives but can only recommend towards the special cases which they feel are doing the excellent work in the organization. Supervision leads the efforts of the employees under their command. On the other hand, direction involves leading the efforts of medium and lower level executives. So, direction is from the top and supervision is the process which is being followed at the lowest level and it is implemented at the workers down under the supervisor. Then comes the second element of the directing, that is called communication, which is very important part of the any organization because no direction can be given unless there is a proper system of communication in the organization. What communication is? Let's understand it. Communication is a process of passing information, experience, opinion, etc. from one person to another. It helps employees in an institution to understand their role clearly and perform effectively. It helps in achieving coordination and mutual understanding, which in turn leads to institutional harmony and increased productivity. Communication improves managerial efficiency and ensures cooperation of the staff. Effective communication helps in molding attitudes and building up employees' morale. Communication is the means through which delegation and decentralization of the authority is successfully accomplished in an institution. It is generally said the institution which is rising, it shows that their communication system is effective and accordingly directing the basic element of any institutional management process can only be happening if the communication system is effective. The third element of the directing is leadership. Leadership may be defined as a process by which an institutional manager guides and influences the work of his subordinates in a desired direction. Leaders can motivate the followers to work and thereby increase their performance level. With their continuous support and guidance, leaders are able to build confidence among their followers, thereby increasing their speed and accuracy and decreasing wastage. With friendly and cooperative efforts of a leader, he is able to build employees' morale, which in turn contributes to higher productivity. The fourth element of directing is motivation, which means inspiring, stimulating, or encouraging the subordinates with a passion to work. Positive, negative, monetary, non-monetary incentives may be used for this purpose. With proper motivation, there can be maximum utilization of the institutional resources like men, material, money, and other physical resources. If employees are motivated, it reduces employees' turnover and absenteeism. Motivation fosters their sense of belongingness among the employees towards the institution and also improves their morale. Motivation helps in reducing the number of complaints and grievances. These are the basic elements of any directing process. It is generally said, highly motivated people perform better than unmotivated people. Yes, you can motivate yourself and the subordinates under you, which can lead to the achievement of the goals of an institution. Summarizing, it is said that directing is a process in which the institutional managers instruct, guide, and oversee the performance of their employees to achieve the institutional predetermined goals. It guides and helps the subordinates to complete the given task properly and as per schedule. It provides the necessary motivation to subordinates to complete the work satisfactorily and strive to do the best. It helps in maintaining discipline and rewarding those who do well. Directing involves supervision, communication, leadership, and motivation, which are essential to make sure that the objectives are achieved in an efficient and effective manner with optimum utilization of resources. This is all I wanted to deal about directing in this session. Thank you. Thank you very much.